Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here in the Goldsmith's Guild, where we start the Goldsmith's quest for Stormblood. Serendipity is a picture of panic. Oh, Serenia, it's a catastrophe! Her Grace the Sultana, she suddenly decided to visit the guild. I can't imagine what it might have done to incur her wrath, but wait. If I did incur her wrath, I'd be the one summoned before her. That's the way it works, right? Tell me I'm right. Yes, miss? As much as I'd like to assist you, a rather important guest is due to arrive any moment now. Should you be referring to the Sultana, then I am she. Pray forgive me my appearance, but as my visit is private in nature, I wish to avoid the public eye. Your Grace? You're here already? No, wait. I mean, you honor us with your presence. Pray be at ease, Guildmaster. And may I say the surprise is mutual, for is this not my dear Serenia who stands before me? I came with the intent of having Mistress Serendipity relay a request to you, but full glad am I that I may make said request personally. You see, it is my desire to help ordinary Ala Mhigans rebuild their lives. To this end, I intend to establish a school for artisans. Such a school requires a capable mistress, and to this vital role I would appoint none other than you, Serenia. What? Some days ago, Her Grace made a visit to the city's refugee quarters, where she bore witness to the full extent of the daily struggles, and the sight filled her with sorrow. More so than sorrow, it filled me with shame, the shame that such despair should exist under my rule. It served as a stern rebuke of my failings as a leader, and a reminder that mine inaction may beget great suffering, as it did when I allowed Telechi Adelechi to run rampant by subjecting you and yours to unimaginable pain. As I have long believed, by helping the refugees, so too do we help Ul'dah. When Ala Mhigo's liberation becomes reality, and full sure am I that it will, her citizens will desire to return home. Alas, the years have left her industry barren, and there are precious few opportunities for repatriated citizens to make a living. If a nation is to survive and eventually thrive, we must needs till the soil of her economy. In pondering this endeavor, I sought the counsel of wise individuals from far and wide. It was their prevailing recommendation that the seeds of trade be sown through the training of craftsmen. Craftsmen who would go on to create a product that would be synonymous with Ala Mhigo. In this way did we arrive at the idea of an artisan school. Welga's Reach, home to the Ala Mhigan resistance, was nominated as the location. This left the question of who to send as schoolmaster. In search of the answers, I turned to Master myself for his opinion on an exceptional goldsmith fit to represent Ul'dah. And of all the names he could speak, he speaks the very same that I had in mind. Yes, my dear Serenia. Apologies for the suddenness of my request, my friend. I had been privy to the initiative for some time, but was to be kept in the strictest confidence. Lest you doubt the plan's feasibility, rest assured that it has met with even the Syndicate's approval, for Ala Mhigo is rich not only in the smithing tradition, but in mineral deposits besides. A favorable environment for our goal of economical revival. I am providing such funds as I may to the initiative, yet an investment of coin alone feels somehow impersonal. To that end, I would make a further contribution to the future of Ala Mhigo's people. My mother's crown, which she wore when she was wed. The jewel shall be of use to your work. The kindly soul that she was, my mother will be glad that it might serve a noble cause. Such a sacrifice bespeaks the strength of Her Grace's commitment. Oh, Serenia, you will do it, won't you? For the people of Ala Mhigo and Her Grace? And for me as well, for good measure. How can I say no? I want that option. How can I say no? I had every faith that you would accept, but I'm no less grateful for it. Thank you, Serenia. I shall not soon forget this favor. Now then, I have entrusted the general arrangements for the school to Master Marcel. Pray have the particulars from him and Mistress Serendipity. Beg your pardon. Yes, it is he. What? So soon? Well, there certainly is no time like the present. At Her Grace's behest, I had put out word among Ala Mhigan refugees that we are recruiting apprentices. The effect was immediate, and a number of promising young candidates have answered the call. As a matter of fact, they are already gathered outside the city walls near Spineless Basin. If you'd care to accompany me, Shadowstar, this is a chance to meet your students-to-be. I believe that is... yeah, Central Fanalan. Right outside the gate. The Gate of Nalt. I always mix up the names of these two gates to Central Fanalan. I always think this is the Gate of Farl, but it's not. And here is the Spineless Basin, the refugee camp. My thanks for coming, Shadowstar. Well then, these are the three individuals who answered our call for apprentices. Though they are virgins to goldsmithing, they came to us with experience in other fields. In your capacity as schoolmaster, may I suggest you have a word to each of them? Once you are done here, pray return to the guild. There have been developments in the school's establishment, and Jemime would furnish you with the details. It is a pleasure to meet you, miss. I'm Jikabika, and I've loved trinkets and accessories since I was little, so I started working at a small jewelry shop. At first I was just a shopkeep, but simply selling stuff got boring fast, so I nagged our artisans to teach me a thing or two, and I learned enough to help out with repairs. But then I decided I wanted to become an artisan myself, and here I am. But enough about me and more about you. I heard you're the one who crafted the music boxes that together played an original arrangement of a famous tune by none other than the songstress of Ulda. I knew it. You've been the talk of a shop, and everyone there's going to be so jealous when I hear I'll be learning from you. But most importantly, I've always admired your work, and it's an absolute honor for me, and I promise to do my best. Hello, Chief. Vidor's the name, and I'm here with my brother, Hal. I used to smith for resistance, fixing weapons and such. In our country there's always been some fighting going on somewhere, and I grew up thinking a craftsman works only on tools of war. But before she died, Ma would always tell us the fighting would end one day. And when that day comes, Ala Mhigo's gonna need craftsmen, or to bring her coin and make her prosper. Recently I started giving more thought to Ma's words and asked myself how I might help my country get back to its feet. And then this opportunity came along to learn goldsmithing, and I took it as a sign and took it up. Wait, you're the teacher? But Vidor said it was going to be a ravaging Mikote. Fooled again, that. He always does it to me, and I keep falling for it. Suppose I ought to introduce myself. I'm Hal, and I'm a miner. Was, at any rate, till my bastard of a brother duped me into becoming a goldsmith. Well, that is exactly true, because I've always been interested in the craft. You name a rock or ore, I dug it up, and it's downright fascinating learning how it all gets used. Okay. So we have someone who has a little bit of experience in jewelry, someone who has experience in smithing, and someone has experience in mining. All of it is basically, well, A solid foundation to start upon. Wait. You. I've been waiting for you, Serenia. As you will have heard from Master Marcel, there have been developments in regards to the artisans in school. Guildmaster Serendipity has selected the goldsmith who will serve as your deputy. May I introduce Miss Ameloff? At your service. Though we meet for the first time, your many accomplishments are well known to me. It will be an honor and a pleasure both assisting you in instilling the fundamentals of goldsmithing into our budding young apprentices. When the school is finally open in Walga's Reach, Miss Ameloff will be the resident instructor, overseeing the students' everyday learning. The chance to work with an acclaimed goldsmith such as you seldom visits, and so when the offer came, I fairly jumped at it. I shall endeavor to be a worthy deputy to you. Now then, it will be a little while until the classes begin, so feel free to go about your business for now. Rest assured, I shall be in touch when the time comes. Glad tidings, Serenia. The Ala Mhigan resistance has sent word that all is in readiness at Walga's Reach for the artisan school. The time has come for you and Miss Ameloff to strike out for Giabania, there to cultivate a new generation of goldsmiths. Though I am not directly involved, the mere thought of a venture sets my heart aflutter. Now then, your deputy awaits you at Spineless Basin, where I believe you first met your students. Proceed to your preparations and join her there at your earliest convenience. Good morrow to you, Serenia. We just missed our apprentices. They struck out for Walga's Reach but moments ago. A shame you couldn't see their stunned faces when I told them that the school was established under the patronage of the Sultana herself. Nah, they had no idea who their benefactor is. Doubtless they assumed the coin was publicly sourced, but the seven hells would freeze over before Uldar becomes so charitable. The truth is, Her Grace is personally bearing all expenses. However, she desires no credit for it and wishes instead to keep the initiative quiet. And so when the call went out for apprentices, nary a mention was made of her involvement. I can only imagine how the three will react when they learn that Her Grace's contribution includes her lady mother's crown. Speaking of a crown, I have it for safekeeping. Let us see it safely to Walga's Reach, where our eager apprentices await. Shall we then? The Ananta will help? There you are, Serenia. Upon arriving, I was surprised to learn that yours is already an established name in these parts. It makes it all the more compelling that Her Grace would name you for the role. But without further ado, may I introduce you to Kanchana, our liaison with the Resistance? Greetings and welcome to Walga's Reach. We Ananta love accessories. Love to make and to wear them. The goldsmithing of your kind is most intriguing, and I look forward to observing your techniques. But tell me, this crown you have brought, such a precious thing, yet you mean to take it apart for its stones? Yes, it belonged to the Sultana's mother, and is worth a fortune, and to be honest, the idea of working on it frightens me. Let us strive to be worthy of it. A crown is a symbol of the Sultana's faith in us. As the schoolmaster says, we must strive to be worthy of that faith. It is a tradition among nobles to bequeath gemstones unto those nearest and dearest to them. And to Her Grace, the people of Eorzea are as her children. So let us receive the stones with thanks and ensure they serve a good cause, that which will lead to a better future for Ala Mhigans, as is Her Grace's will. So that is the way it is. Very well, I shall show you to the space where we've set aside for use by the artisan school. But I must ask, is that to be your actual name? It strikes me as somewhat generic. Hard to argue with that. If we're gonna be selling our wares eventually, I reckon we need a catchier name to slap on them. Right, there's something less a school and more workshop like the Crown Gem Works, you know, in honor of a Sultana. I believe it's a fine idea, and that is a fine name. What say you, schoolmaster? It's good. It's official then. From this moment forth, the Crown Gem Works is in operation. Kanchana, pray lead the way. Schoolmaster, to begin with, may I suggest you have word with each of the apprentices? It would serve to build rapport, and you would stand to learn about them. I just feel the Ananta's movement animations are unnatural unless they are actually floating, because that's what it looks like. They are not slithering on the ground, they are floating above it. I never done no crafting before, and it's all I can do to remember the basics. But Miss Emeloff says I've got a sense for working stone. It's my mining experience talking, I reckon. A glance and I can tell stone's character, its hardness and all that. Can't say the same when it comes to metal though. I've dug ore to be sure, but the stuff that comes to us ain't ore no more. A stone don't change like that. Hello there, Chief. Just working on the basics at the moment. Having been a smithy, the metal side of things comes pretty natural to me, but cutting and polishing stones, well, that's a whole new world. I can't for the life of me tell what's good and what's bad. Haven't seen enough finished products, I suppose. If you want to work soon, you should work together, boys. Schoolmaster, so it's true what Miss Emeloff says, and you know all our warriors here and fought with them besides? Wow, to think that your skilled hands can create magnificent works of art, as well as wreak bloody havoc. You are truly a versatile schoolmaster, and I'm honored to be your pupil. But most of all, I'm honored that I am that her grace would entrust us with her crown, but a little nervous as well, because I can be clumsy sometimes, and I have to take extra care that my hands don't slip. You've spoken with our apprentices? How do they fare? I see. My own impressions are much the same as yours. GKP shows promise. Her time as a jewelry shop has instilled her with artistic sense, and she has zeal in abundance. The challenge will be the two brothers. Guido works metal like a veteran, but stone like a layman. Holman, well, is the opposite. Brilliant with stone, but lackluster with metal. A goldsmith proficient in only one area is no goldsmith at all. Never mind to have them overcome their weaknesses and let them move on to the next step. But what say you, schoolmaster? Let's cultivate their strengths first. Oh, before addressing weaknesses, you would first cultivate strengths? Mayhap there's wisdom in this. At this early stage, a focus on shortcomings is liable to undermine motivation. But with that in mind, I have a proposal. We prepare a sample product which our apprentices will work together to reproduce to the best of their abilities. The point is to create something from beginning to end, and to that end we have to each person take charge of the area in which he or she excels. This exercise will give them not only a sense of satisfaction, but also a better understanding of each aspect of our craft and context. My thanks, Schoolmaster. Such an idea would not have occurred to me without your input. Now, on the question of a sample, I believe that it's best made by your hands. The quality would surpass aught I could hope to produce, and the knowledge that it came from you would serve to inspire our apprentices. As for the subject, Ah yes, a silver ring should pose a suitable challenge. Something adorned with a beautiful lapis lazuli from Her Grace's crown. Here are some materials to get you started. Should you require more, you need but ask Kanchana. And as always in Stormblood, we don't need our own crafting materials. We go on the special recipes, story, and start crafting. Our princesses keenly await the task. Pyre Godspeed. Such an immaculately balanced ring, and the exquisite texture, each hammer stroke lovingly measured. I'd expected to be impressed, but I find myself in utter awe. This ring is the very embodiment of perfection, a worthy vessel for the Sultana's faith and goodwill. It is the simplest articles that separate masters from middling craftsmen. I wonder if our aspiring young goldsmiths will be able to appreciate the difference. Everyone, pray gather around. For your next task, we will have you make a simple ring. Schoolmaster Shadowstar has personally crafted a sample for your reference. Oh, there's no way I could possibly make something so this fine. Not within my lifetime, definitely not today. Such refreshing candor, and a sentiment I can well appreciate. Though I am no expert, 'tis plain that this is the work of a true master. And so it is. But be not daunted, my apprentices, for we neither ask nor expect a master quality of you yet. Nay, your goal is to simply produce a finished product, and you needn't give it thought besides that. I was thinking I was handy with metal, but this is taking it to another level. I hear you. I thought the gem was already perfect when it was in the crown, but now it's more perfect. What tiny warps there was on the surface are all gone. Not that I noticed them before. Might be as we're better at some things than we are at others, but it's all the same next to what the schoolmaster can do. Right, the goal is so far away it doesn't seem to matter where we start from and what our strengths and weaknesses are. Rest assured, your strengths are nothing to look down upon, and we shall draw upon them first of all. As such, the work will be delegated as follows. Vido will be responsible for fashioning the band. Harl will cut and polish the stone, and last but not least, Jikibika will take charge of the initial design and finishing touches. Doubt not that the time will come when you strive for mastery in all aspects of goldsmithing. But to begin with, we want you to focus on cultivating your individual strengths and bid you join them together now to create your very first finished product. Yes, miss. We appreciate you taking the time to craft such an amazing sample, especially for us. And we promise to do our very best. The schoolmaster and I have every confidence that you will. Remember, this workshop is yours and everything here is at your disposal. But should you have any further needs or questions, do not hesitate to come to us. The change in the bearing was fairly palpable, was it not? For to behold your wing was to gaze up at the true height of our craft, and it instilled them with newfound determination. I look forward to seeing how they rise to the challenge. Quality assurance learned. Increase the chance of high okay, and yeah, let's continue. Thanks to your inspired idea and extraordinary craftsmanship, we have addressed the issue of the two brothers' shortcomings and may carry on their education. Not me, not me. Alas, another issue has arisen, this time with Jekabika. She possesses determination, artistic sense, and above all, a love for jewelry. I was quite certain she would succeed as a goldsmith, but she is, for want of a better word, clumsy. Remarkably so. She falters at the most vital steps when applying the finishing touches and ends up having to start from scratch. This has happened so many times now, she has become quite depressed. Considering how reliable she is at molding, I cannot understand why she would struggle in this way. Could it be that she puts too much pressure on herself and it robs her of a steady touch? Whatever the cause might be, perhaps you will be able to discern it where I could not. Might I trouble you to look in on Jekabika, schoolmaster? And the other two as well while you're at it. You'll like to find them at the sutler's tent. Let's talk to you two first. Me? I've been watching Miss Emelov, trying to imitate her movements. She's real graceful with her hands, you know. Next time, maybe you could let us watch you two. Jekabika? Aye, she's been having a lot of mishaps of late, and it's gotten her down. Funny thing is, you know when something's about to go wrong. She furrows her brow, looking real focused like, and then lets out a growl, and the next moment all her hard work is undone. So this is definitely not just she lacks dexterity or something. This is something regarding focus and yeah. Thanks again for the other day, Chief. We've got our heads down and together, trying to put out a ring that won't shame you. Have I noticed anything about Jekabakipa's work? Well, she's a sight better than me, and that's taking all her bungling into account. More's a pity, because she seems to know exactly what she wants to do. I ain't no expert, not yet anyway, but might be she could stand to slow it down a some. I mean, outside of work she always gets me and Hal mixed up. I won't deny the resemblance, but I'm clearly the better looking one. Schoolmaster, I'm at my wit's end. I keep on botching the finishing touches. It's just so frustrating and I don't know what to do anymore. I was never clumsy like this in the past, and though all people say I talk in streams of thought, I never rush my work, but for some reason my hands and fingers don't move as I will them. I can't for the life of me work up what's wrong, and it's driving me mad, and I'm just about ready to give up. Yeah, it's definitely not just that she lacks dexterity. This is a mental thing here. Are you able to learn aught of Jekabika's situation? She furrows her eyebrows before an instance of bungling, you say, and struggles to tell the two brothers apart besides? It seems to me the problem lies with her eyes. I was aware of her poor eyesight, but I assumed her spectacles corrected it. Well, Jekabika is right there, so let us test her vision and ascertain the possibility. Schoolmaster, may I trouble you to summon her while Kanchana and I set things up? You wish to test my vision, Schoolmaster Shadowstar? But of course. I just stand here and should I take off my spectacles? Nay, young Goldsmith, pray leave them on. Let us begin. Whose hand is raised, Miss Emelos or mine? That's easy. Yours, Kanchana. What? It honestly appears that way to you? By the gods, what world have you been living in? How have you not already strolled off a cliff? We have our answer. Her spectacles have outlived their usefulness. Mayhap her schoolmaster would be so kind as to make her a new pair? Just so happens I had spectacles in mind for the next task. From the curves of the lenses to the joints of a frame, these items demand a high degree of precision and are thus ideal for cultivating attention to detail. The spectacles to craft for Jakabika would also serve admirably as a sample for our apprentices. And for their added benefit, may I suggest that you make a demonstration of it? So, the schoolmaster will make me a new pair of spectacles, and it will be our reference for the next task? Whenever you're ready, Serenia. As before, if you're short of materials, Kanchana will furnish you with whatever you require. Okay, seriously. How can you mix these two up? I mean, I personally wear glasses, yeah? And have pretty bad eyesight. Not absolutely terrible, but I cannot for the life of me imagine how you have such bad eyesight that you literally take two people, these two, and mix them up. It is impossible. Really, it defies comprehension, honestly. I mean, even she must have such bad eyesight that even without glasses, she must be literally blind. Just seeing a blob of mixing colors. How are the spectacles coming along? Oh, praise be, I can see again. Oh, the beauty of nature in its fullest brilliance, extending as high as the heavens and as far as the horizon. My world is so wide now, I feel as though anything and everything is possible. Thank you, Schoolmaster, thank you from the bottom of my heart. To look at your glee, it's a wonder you didn't realize the fault lay with your spectacles. At any rate, you may again work with confidence. She could hardly see worth of them, but she could still do a sight better than us. We're gonna have to lift our game somewhat fierce, you hear me, Al? Loud and clear, Widow. Loud and clear. These are the finest spectacles a girl could hope to own, and I don't know how close we can get to such quality, but we're going to give it our all. Prior to this, Jepegiba showed a glimpse of promise, but with her new spectacles, I believe she is set to give us a veritable eyeful. Seeing this has served to stoke the fires within Hal and Widow, we may expect much and more from them also. They may be works in progress, but quickly are they taking shape. Ere long, they will become goldsmiths in their own right. From our perspective, they still have far to go, but they now have it in them to craft wares fit to grace shop displays. In anticipation of this, I've been consulting Master Marcel on finding purveyors willing to stock their handiwork. Ours is an unknown name for now, but the day will come when people the realm over gather in droves seeking crown gemwork articles. It is to see such a day arrive that we labor. It occurs to me that if the spectacles are to serve as reference, would Jakabika not have to remove them? How would she carry out the work in that case? Oh, right you are. Shall we say that this is part of a challenge? I would have thought us a little more time to prepare for it would have thought us a little more time to prepare for the task. polishing your skills as a goldsmith, you learn manipulation. Which gives us more durability with the next 8 steps. In many ways, this works very similar to how waste knot functions, especially when you use them in conjunction with each other. Waste knot 2 and manipulation. Let's see what next problem awaits us regarding our apprentices. Ah, Mr. Serendipity. Schoolmaster, I trust you've been keeping well. It pleases me to say that our apprentices are making sound progress. Such is their dedication, they have even formed a study group of their own volition. Pray excuse me a moment. Ah, Master Marcel, good evening to you. Truly? We are in your debt. You will recall that I've been looking for willing outlets for our apprentices' handiwork. To that end, I sent some samples to Master Marcel to present to merchants. Well, that was Master Marcel reporting on the results, and it seems the samples were very well received. No few outlets have expressed their interest, with some willing to stock our wares on a trial basis. Though it's low volume still, orders have already coming in, and Master Marcel asked if the apprentices come to StBB for a meeting with the clients. To reach this stage in so short a time is a tremendous achievement, and they may rightly feel proud. Speaking of the apprentices, they shall be glad for the tidings. Mayhap the schoolmaster would care to be the bearer? There's no denying the news would be sweeter coming from you, Serenia. Might I trouble you to tell them? You will find them gathered by Chakra Falls to the north, engaging in some furtive enterprise, if I might add. We ain't doing nothing suspicious, I swear. Schoolmaster, what are you... I mean, what can we do for you? What? Did I hear you right? You just told us we've received real orders from real clients? And there I thought that we was years away from making sellable stuff. All thanks to you and Miss Emelov. We put our best work and make you proud, you see. So you're probably wondering why we gave out like this and talking secret talk. You see, we want to do something to show our gratitude to the Sultana for granting us this opportunity to become goldsmiths and contribute to Ala Mhigo's future. Aye. She even sacrificed her mother's crown, and seeing as our wares are now fit for the market, it's time we repaid her kindness. Problem is, we can't decide on how to go about it, what to give her. We was thinking maybe we could use the crown's remaining gems to make something, but beyond that... Oh, I have an idea. The meeting with the clients will take place in StBB, and Master Marcel will be at hand, huh? Am I right? Well, if anyone knows a suitable tribute, it would be him, so perhaps we could consult him on it while we're there? And it would give us heart if you were present as well. Yeah, what she said. It'd be a lot better having you with us. Anyway, we'd be best be off. Come on, you two. We've got some orders to receive. And Ulda. Shadowstar, I am pleased to report that the meeting went smoothly and the clients left feeling confident. Now then, your apprentices say you have a consultation for me? Oh, a tribute for the Sultana, and one which makes use of the gems from her Lady Mother's crown. An inspired idea. Alas, I have none of mine own to offer. Not likely is coming to mind. As I'm sure you will appreciate, I'm honor-bound to protect my prey twin's confidentiality. but it should not infringe upon my code of conduct to share with you such rumors as are commonly heard in town. If the whispers are to be believed, a maiden who shares an uncanny resemblance with the Sultana has been observed frequenting a certain shop. If the maiden in question is in fact her grace, it may well be that something has taken her fancy, and that something may offer an answer to your question. You've seen the Sultana in disguise on a number of occasions, I believe. You ought to be able to recognize her easily enough. Well, this all sounds promising. It just so happens Hal and Vito are at Sapphire Avenue Exchange, so I fetch them and we investigate the rumor together. Once we got a name for the shop, we lie in wait for the Sultana, and we need you to be on hand to identify her. See you in a bit, Schoolmaster, and thank you for your kind help, Master Marcel. No time for supplies, we've got the Sultana to find. You'll be pleased to hear I'm narrowed down the arms vendors. It's a place owned by one jealous juggernaut, which means the Sultana's favorite shop's just across the way. Keep watch there long enough and she's bound to appear. Schoolmaster, a short while ago there was a sighting of a maiden who looks not unlike her grace, accompanied by a person who looks not unlike an old man. It's second-hand information to be sure, but if it's true, it's not unlike a golden chance, and we just need to find out what this shop is that the Sultana visits. Sorry for making you run around like this, Chief. But it won't take much longer, I promise. We've got good info on the shop, what's mentioned in the rumors. It's a sundry goods store opposite an arms vendor. There's only so many of those on Sapphire Avenue. Arms merchant and... Yeah, can we be less conspicuous, please? Based on Video and Hall's information, this is where the Sultana-esque maiden appears. Look! To come, Papa Shanesque man, to come and see the orchestrions fairly every day. You truly are taken by it, Lily. Yes, when you start in Ulda, right? Fancrit names the disguised Sultana Lilira, so it could be her. Oh, it is perfect in all ways, save for its size. Would that it were small enough to fit in my bed chamber. Does an elegant and compact orchestrion not exist? Such an item would suit my lady very well indeed, but I feel it will prove elusive to find even in our great city. An orchestrion? The schoolmaster, was that who I think it is? Yep. And she desires an elegant and compact orchestrion. By God be praised. Now if we know what to make, we must back to Walga's reach so you can get to work right away, and needless to say, we'll be needing your help. Oh, and we ought to save our thanks to Master Marcel again, but me and the others can take care of that, so please go on ahead. Oh, an orchestrion will be hard work for our apprentices. That is not easy to make. Our apprentices have told me all. They wish to present her grace with an elegant and compact orchestrion. It is a fine choice for a tribute, and made finer still with the gems from our Lady Mother's crown. While large machines fashioned by carpenters are the norm, I believe it is well within the realm of possibilities to produce a miniaturized version with our goldsmithing techniques. But by our techniques, I mean yours and mine, schoolmaster. Though our apprentices have become capable enough to fill the odd order, they yet lack the skill needed to craft precision instruments, and orchestrions demand no small degree of precision. But seeing as they are determined, it falls to us to prepare them for the challenge. To that end, I have in mind to test them on a similarly complex apparatus, a tabletop chronometer. From past experience, rather than being taken by the hand, I believe our apprentices learn best by following your example, and so I would ask that you perform another demonstration. Pray begin whenever you're ready, schoolmaster, and let Kanchana know if you have need of additional materials. How fast your crafting effort? This, schoolmaster, is absolutely flawless. My breath fairly caught in my throat. My expectations of you are high as a matter of course, but you manage to transcend them every time. Apprentices, you are not like to find a finer example of a chronometer. Study it well and reproduce it as best you can, and you shall acquire the requisite knowledge and techniques for making an orchestrion. We are supposed to reproduce that? Oh dear, my hands are starting to shake. It's not out of dread, but the excitement of tackling the task. The more I learn goldsmithing, the more I've made to appreciate the schoolmaster's brilliance and keenly feel how utterly unpolished I'm next to her. You're like a god among goldsmiths. Crap. Sorry. You're like a god among goldsmiths, up to your own place in the heavens, while we're bumbling down here on the ground. And though we may never get where you are, we'll keep on climbing every mountain in the hopes that one day we will. 'Tis well that they are motivated, for this will be the steepest mountain yet. But when they have climbed it, they will be all the more prepared to climb all the others to come. Oh, schoolmaster, our apprentices wish to consult you regarding the orchestrion they intend to make for the Sultana. You will find them over by Chakra Falls, their favored place to convene when they have something to hide. And while you are there, could you please tell them they are needed at the workshop? As it happens, they have other tasks requiring their attention. So, we've been working on the orchestrion in secret. The adornments are my task, and I was hoping you'd tell me how good and shite a job I did. At first, we was thinking to make a whole thing together ourselves. Then we got to thinking some more. You and your grace go back a long way, right? Well, it seems to us the tribute will be all the more special if you was to handle the finishing touches. Attach the gemstones and all that. Chief, mind taking a look at this for me? It's a case for the orchestrion. Fitting the wooden bits together was a harder deal than I expected, but I kept it until it came all together. Or leastwise I think it did. Mistress Emelos needs us back. Bugger. We were supposed to unload the supplies. Knew I forgot something. As Schoolmaster Shadowstar, you never guessed, but we've already begun working on the orchestrion, and without Miss Emelos' knowledge, because we wanted to see how well we could do by ourselves. Like before, we'd have divided up the task between a few of us, and I'm in charge of a cylinder. Each of our parts are are ready already, and all that remains is to join them together. Oh, and also apply the finishing touches and fix the gemstones. But these two things we'd like to entrust to you, seeing as the gemworks wouldn't be, well, the gemworks without you. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we'd appreciate it if you and Miss Emelov could examine our work and make certain everything is up to scratch. You've spoken with our apprentices? So what manner of mischief has been keeping them up late at night? An orchestrian's outer case, crafted from fine lumber. An orchestrian's ornamental trimmings inlaid with beautiful gemstones. An orchestrian's beating heart where the music is made. They made all these completely unaided? If I want my honest opinion, it's good enough to assemble and present to the Sultana. With this degree of polish, there's no reason why they couldn't handle the rest themselves. Yet I can appreciate the sentimental value in entrusting the finishing touches and the gemstones to you. As our apprentices say, the gemworks wouldn't be what it is without you, and as the Sultana's personal friend, your involvement would imbue the tribute with greater meaning. In addition to symbolizing Her Grace's faith in us, the gemstones represent the cherished memories of her mother. If any one of us here should have the honor of breathing new life into them, it is you. With that, I shall leave you to it. Remember, should you require additional supplies, you need but speak with Kanchana. I look forward to beholding the finished orchestrion in all its glory. Tribute orchestrion. Is it ready, schoolmaster? Your orchestrion? Good. Gods, I believe I'm getting butterflies in spite of myself. Oh my, this is magnificent. A more refined and elegant orchestrion I have never seen. Why, I can already see it gracing the Sultana's chamber, its music imbuing her slumber with sweet dreams. Such a grand tribute calls for a grand occasion in which to present, and as for creators, suffice it to say you, the apprentices must be in attendance. I shall arrange for the Crown Gemworks to have an audience with Her Grace. Until that time, let all keep the nature of a tribute in confidence. The equestrian I shall leave in your safekeeping, Serenia. At the appointed hour, pray take it to the palace entrance on the royal promenade. State your business to the Sultan sworn on duty, and he will show you in. I shall see you there. Okay. Serenia of the Crown Gemworks, we have been expecting you. You have the article to be presented, I trust? Very good. Lest you wonder, your colleagues have already arrived. I shall take you to join them. Her Grace will receive you in her chambers. Oh, Serendipity is here as well. Be at ease, my friends. I'm informed you've come with a gift? Yes, Your Grace. A humble token of gratitude from the apprentice goldsmiths for the generosity you have shown them. Do mine eyes deceive me? Does it not please Your Grace? How should that not please me? 'Tis the very thing I desired, yet was resigned never to find. And the jewels that adorn it, they are familiar to me, and comfortingly so. Could they be... Indeed, your grace. We took the liberty of using jewels from your lady mother's crown. May I try it? Not what please us more, your grace. It was a collaboration between the apprentices who crafted and assembled the primary components and the schoolmaster Shadowstar who handled the finishing touches. I gave the crown willingly, expecting naught in return. Yet here it is returned to me, and reborn in magnificent form. I'm grateful beyond words, not only for this gift, but also what it represents. You're coming into your own as goldsmiths, ready to contribute to the future of your homeland. From the first, I had every faith in you, Serenia, but even so I dared not hope that this day would come so soon. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. A happier audience we could not have expected. Now then, ere we return to Valga's Reach, may I suggest we gather at the Goldsmiths Guild? But it was adorable how happy Nanamo was. Wonderful, truly. You set out to repay the Sultana, and you have succeeded in the grandest fashion. I'm truly happy for you. Master Marcel beheld the equestrian for the first time, and was deeply impressed. He makes his way here even as we speak, doubtless with words of praise. Well, if I may add, when he called, he sounded uncharacteristically flustered. We have a situation in our hands. Oh dear, what could this be all about? No sooner did I return to Thames than I was flooded with orders for the self-same orchestrion that you presented to the Sultana. It seems that word has gotten out of the Crown Gemworks tribute to her grace, while Uda is not, if not rife with rumors, but it happened with such speed beggars belief. That's passing out. No one else was in attendance save ourselves, and afterwards we came directly to the guild. Oh, I'm so sorry, it was me. On the way here I bumped into Momodi and I might have let it slip. I see, if Miss Momodi knows, then 'tis fair to say that so does everyone. Far be it her grace's intent to publicize her initiative, but neither did she expressly forbid us from speaking. You've done no ill, Miss Serendipity. On the contrary, you've done extremely well from the perspective of commerce. The merchant in me is fairly giddy at the opportunities this presents. So, what say you all? Might StBB's aesthetics have the honor of carrying gemwork orchestrions as an Ala Mhigan specialty? Are you serious? Our handiwork sold at a prestigious place like StBB's? Are we ready for this? Don't worry, we got the schoolmaster at our backs, remember? I think not, lest you forget, my apprentices. You are the heart of this initiative, and relying upon the schoolmaster would take the shine off your tail. I concur with this assessment. Furthermore, for all intents and purposes, a product synonymous with Ala Mhigo has been born this day. In other words, Shadowstar has fulfilled her role as stipulated by the Sultana, and with distinction besides. It would not be meet to demand more of her. We'll manage by ourselves somehow. I know we will, so you needn't worry. Yes, that's the spirit. Now, even though Serenia won't always be on hand like before, I'm sure she'll visit Valga's reach whenever she's able, and you may rest assured that Emelov won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Near or far, you'll always be our schoolmaster, Shadowstar, and we'll always be waiting for you. Oh. Thanks, guys. Miss Emelov, if I might trouble you for a moment of your time, I should very much like to discuss the matter of supply. And when we go our separate ways, allow me to say to you all what an honor and a privilege it is to be a part of this tale. Suffice it to say, I shall continue to watch the Crown Gemworks with great interest and every pray for its success. Till next time, my friends. Oh, that was beautiful. I loved that. We just quickly show what they have to say and then we end the episode. There's always, if you talk to the people, a how are things going dialogue, right? Maybe I should have talked to Serendipity first, but too late, too late. And they are the important one for this. Our apprentices seem to get along very well. Not a hint of a strife I was told to expect when 3 young ones of mixed gender are gathered. I must confess to being a little disappointed. Schoolmaster, what a pleasant surprise. Lest you honor, all is very well here in spite of our youth. The Gemworks is already a respected name, and it's in no small part due to your leadership. Orders have been flooding in from Ulda, and it's all we can do to keep pace. But thanks to the fine spectacles you crafted for me, I can tackle all the world with clarity and confidence. Carrying the Gemworks name, I feel pride and pressure at the same time. Mostly pressure, to be honest, but then I think back on your masterpieces, and it reminds me the most important thing is bettering myself. Schoolmaster, is it true the Syndicate picked you for this job? No, but Widow said... God damn it. Not again. How do I keep falling for his hogwash? Okay. So, they will have fun in the future, and it's wonderful that I played a part in this. Until next time then, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.